I'm talking. All right, you need me to go up to you, saying I'm sure. You're talking about my height again, is it? No, definitely not.
First of all, reaction to Sam's dropping out and obviously being replaced by Tim.
Yeah, obviously a big blow for Sam and a big blow for us. Thought Sam was training and obviously his first chance to playing really well. Gave us a bit of sort of 6 and second row cover. So yeah, blow for both him as an individual and us.
Tim Swinton coming in, I suppose people would have reckoned Richie Gray was the next one coming on the train by Tim and not Richie.
Well, Greg has been in constant conversation with Richie, but due to family reasons and due to perhaps returning from injury and fitness and stuff like that, he decided that he couldn't commit to the World Cup. So that's Richie. Obviously, Swinno has been part of the squad recently as well. He picked up an injury at the end of the season, but prior to that was playing really well for Glasgow, and so he comes back in to train with us. So that's all it is at this stage, just to come back into training. We've obviously got a few decisions to make around that second row, come back row sort of situation that perhaps Sam offered you that little bit of flexibility. So we've got to look at that. But those are the reasons. Yeah, I think there's definitely an open opportunity for boys to perform in these games. I mean, and then get picked. But first of all, he'll have to get picked for the game. And as I said, right this minute now, it's just a training situation where he's coming in to train. And we'll see how that goes over the next few days. And obviously, we've got 2 games left before we jump on the plane. What? Yeah, I mean, as I understand it from Greg has been in conversation with him for a long time, if I'm honest. And then, I think recently he made the decision that he couldn't commit to the World Cup, as I said, based on sort of family reasons. And obviously he's returned from a long time out with an injury and getting himself back to fitness and so on. So, yeah, that was Richie's decision.
Is that the point of view, given the experience in ours, what you thought you could do over the years?
Yeah, from
that option not sort of available.
Yeah, I mean, from my end, I really admire the player. I think he's been a great player for Scotland over the years, and he is a quality rugby player. Timing does come into these things at times, and obviously that's the situation, and that's a personal choice, which we understand from Richie. But yeah, I've never actually worked with him physically. Obviously, he's not been in the squad since my time with Scotland, but I'm sure hopefully that will happen in the future, but we'll see.
Sam, what is the length of period you think that you'll be out
for? We're not 100% sure on that. There's still that early stages of trying to get that sort of diagnosis of the time frame, but right this minute now, it does prevent him for the next 4 weeks as a minimum from being able to do anything, which obviously gives us in terms of getting on the plane with fit players and a fit squad right this minute now, that gives us a big headache. But hopefully with Sam being as professional as I know he will be, he'll return as quickly as possible for us to, depending on whether there was injuries or so on, there's hopefully a fit body in 4 to 6, 8 weeks. But I think that it's not for me to make that time call. I think that's going to come from the physios when we get the opportunity.
Since Tim does do what Sam did in cover row for the second row and back row, is there actually a real opportunity, you think, for him to play his way into the World Cup squad?
Well, I think what we've got to look at now is there's other people that can do that role as well. So I think there's a competition between our players for boys who have and can cover second row and back row, or back row and second row, whichever way you look at it. Obviously, on the weekend's game, we had the predicament that, not by design, by injury and circumstance, we end up with back row in the second row for the tail end of the game, which wasn't, like I said, by design. But it's making those decisions, and we'll make those decisions in the coming days. And obviously, we've got a game on the weekend that will give us the opportunity to look at a few more combinations, which is again what these games are about.
So look at that, how important is this week's game up against Georgia?
Yeah, it's big. I think first of all, the challenge of going to Georgia is going to be massive. I think we know what Georgia have proved to be there, have been a real handful for size. They've got a big pack of forwards and they play a pretty direct style of rugby. So from a physical point of view, it's going to be a huge challenge. From the away game point of view, which we want to improve, we've made no secret about, and we want to be able to go on the road and be far better than we've been. That wasn't the case in France, but I thought the boys bounced back brilliantly on the weekend in terms of turning quite a heavy defeat into a home win against a strong French side. And now our challenge this week is to take that on the road and go and perform in a way that will, make us and the nation proud of the boys from an away performance point of view.
Just given the short turnaround between some of the games that we're facing in Japan and it's sort of lengthy period now when it comes to the concussion protocol, do you think there's an argument made that the squads of 31 should be better at giving those guys perhaps up to to be a concussion that you should be a bit more flexibility in terms of the guy you can call up? I
think a few coaches have commented on the longer term, and I think I probably, from a personal point of view, the 31 in modern days with concussion and with everything else that comes and with the tight turnarounds between games is tight, but it's the same for everybody. So we've all got to get on with it. But yeah, I mean maybe potentially with the concussion issues and player welfare in the future, maybe those numbers will start to increase. But that's not for me to. Those are decisions made way above my station.
Early days with two concussion victims, how are they looking though at this point?
I mean, we're in a good place right this minute now. I think the protocol has been met so far, but as you know, it's a stage-by-stage protocol. It takes 6 days to fulfil, but right this minute now, the early stages have been good.
How much are you looking at the Irish performance the weekend going into that first match in Japan?
Not in a huge amount of detail right this minute now. I think everybody's probably aware of what these games are. I think we've seen. I don't think there's been an away win yet, hasn't there, in these warm-up games that we've been watching. I think they are chances to try things, to play different combinations, to look at different people, and sometimes that leads to some inconsistencies and it leads to some errors and issues. And there's parts of our game over the 2 games we've had so far that's been the case, and it's the same with everybody I've watched. Obviously, England beating Wales at home, losing to them away, and then beating Ireland at home. It's the same for everybody. So I don't think we'll read a huge amount into it. Ireland is still a quality outfit, there's no doubt about that. Well coached, well drilled, and they'll be a real handful when it comes to the World Cup. Granted, on that day, it wasn't their best performance, but like I said, pretty aware of, and we're pretty aware of what they're capable of.